Hello everyone, welcome to this Sims 3 Create a World video. So now we are here on episode, what is this, 11? Or I think this is 11. Yeah, this is episode 11, and this time we're working on the industrial area. So we're going to be doing 3 lots here, kind of all next to each other, across from this industrial port. So what we're starting off here we're starting off here with the first of these lots, and this is the Criminal Hideout. So I'm using, I think all the rabbit holes I use in this video are from the base game. So this is the base game Criminal Hideout, and essentially what I'm doing is just putting some parking spots out front. I also put a moving truck off to the side there, and I recolor it to make it look kind of gross, because I imagine maybe that's what the criminals drive around in. You know, that's how they steal things. They put it in, they pose as moving people and then they steal things. I don't know. I have no idea, but I just thought maybe that could be an interesting thing to put there, I guess. So the first thing I do is I paint over all the grass with this asphalt, and I also mix in some gravel, and then later I'll come back once I put in some plants and stuff. I mix in some dirt and grass and stuff. So you'll see that, but I just wanted to get a base layer of the asphalt. So one weird thing I noticed is when I put down the rabbit holes on this lot and on the one next to it, and by the way, this is built on lot 113, so you can download this in the description and place this on lot 113 if you so choose. But what I wanted to do was put the rabbit holes down without move objects, because I was afraid that if I put the rabbit holes somewhere where it can't go, it might cause it not to work. But for some reason, I couldn't place rabbit holes on this lot and on the one next to it without it just didn't work at all. The game would just say invalid location or out of valid area or something like that. Which is really weird because it must be something with what I did when I created this world. I don't know what's with these lots over here, because the other lots in the world are fine. So I don't really know what it is over here, but I had to place them with move objects, but then later I play tested these with Sims and they all work fine. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with them functionally, so I don't know what that was about, but it doesn't seem to have caused any issues. So anyway, here you can just see I'm just putting a bunch of crap around the place, trying to make it look like an abandoned warehouse of some sort. And yeah, so there's a rusty tractor, there's a broken up car, and also some dumpsters and things. So just a bunch of random junk that I kind of put around. And so yeah, that's pretty much what's happening here. And also I put in some grass to make it look like, the gravel or the asphalt is kind of breaking up a bit, and it's not as solid as it used to be. And I'm also putting in some dirt as well, because it has to look dirty and nasty. And yeah, this came together pretty quickly. Wasn't too much to do with the warehouse, but yeah, also I'm going to put in a little bit of lighting here as well. Just a couple. I don't want it to look too bright, you don't want that. So just put a couple lights in, and I think that's pretty much it. I think I put a spawner in as well. I don't remember what it's for, but anyway, moving on now to the building right next door. This is on lot 114, and of course all the download links are in the description for all the lots I'm doing in this video. So this is the science center / laboratory, whatever it's called. But this is the science career is in this place here. And yeah, it's just on the lot next door in this industrial area. I also put some parking lots out the back here, or parking spots out the back. And there's also a loading dock there, so I kept that area clear. And I put just some fencing around, not for any good reason, but just because, it doesn't really serve a purpose, but I thought it looked kind of nice. And there's also a pathway here to the front doors, so just putting that in. And yeah, this is again a pretty simple rabbit hole. It's not, there's not too much going on here. It's mainly, I had a weird glitch with the, actually with the terrain paint tools, where when I would click on one terrain paint, it would actually paint from the swatch next to it. The swatches would be reversed from what the image showed. That was really confusing, and it happened to me a couple times. But anyway, so essentially it's a pretty simple rabbit hole lot. Just got some trees, some plant life going on here, but not much more than just the rabbit hole itself. So yeah, just putting in some bushes and stuff, and some plants, and all that kind of thing. And again, this is the base game rabbit hole for the science career, so yeah, they're all pretty much the same, from the ones from all the expansions too, and storage content. They're all pretty much the same for the most part. It's just different colors, and I thought this one actually looked the best out of all of them. So, I mean, or they were just like from a store world and they were just like too oddly specific, you know, like the Dragon Valley one or something that's just like way too specific for this world. So essentially, I thought this was the best one. I also put a spawner out the back there too. I'm not exactly sure what that's for either. I think it's for an asteroid or something, but I don't know, or space rocks or whatever. But anyway, we're pretty much done here with the Science Center. Now we're going to move on to what takes me the longest to do, which is a lot that I build from scratch, which will be the Junkyard. So you'll see that in a moment as we just put some lighting here on the Science Center, and we can move on to that. I think that's pretty much it for the Science Center. I'll have to put a gate in and some more terrain paint, but yep. All right, so this is the Junkyard lot, which is on lot 115. Again, all three of these lots are all in a row. They're all in the same place pretty much. So I looked at the Junkyard that came with ambitions just to get an idea of what needs to be on the lot, and not much. So there's just some piles of junk, and I think that's pretty much it. I think there's already spawners down for like junk spawners, like Junkyard spawners were like already there. So I didn't need to even worry about putting those in, but yeah, pretty much. I also put like that fixer-upper car from Roaring Heights because it just fits in really well with this theme here. But of course, it's not necessary that you have Roaring Heights for this. But yeah, there you can see the spawners that are kind of just like suddenly appeared there when I started changing the terrain. But I made this look a little bit more swampy kind of, so there's a bit of like collected water there, and then here's all the junk piles. So yep, these are just in the buy debug menu if you have ambitions. So I should mention that the Junkyard is a lot type that came with ambitions. So all the Junkyard specific items and even the Junkyard lot type are all from ambitions. So there's really no point in downloading this if you don't have ambitions, because I don't think it'll serve any purpose. It'll probably just be an empty lot with some trees on it and stuff. So yeah, but I mean, you can still download it if you want. It's on lot 115 like I mentioned, but you know, if you do have ambitions, this is a great lot to download because it's a Junkyard. So anyway, I just put a little shack here. The ambitions Junkyard, the one that came with ambitions, also had this like an office building, like basically just like a little shack with like a desk in it. So I built one too. So this is just a pretty simple little rectangular building with a couple porches on it. And I also made it look really gross and nasty, of course. I also had a lot of fun with like the terrain paint and putting like nasty plants around. I also play tested this lot as well because I used a lot of move objects, so I wanted to make sure things worked. And my sim was able to get around everywhere. It's just like the junk piles. He couldn't dig into the junk piles because it said that they were empty and we had to check back later. So, or like they were there was no new junk in them. So I don't know if that's probably just something that you have to play the game for a longer period of time before junk shows up in the junk piles. I don't really know exactly how it works. I've never played with a Junkyard before, but you know, I'm pretty sure it works fine. So yep. And here putting in just the windows and stuff on the shack, and also a little bit of foundation there. But yeah, I mean, there you go. There's a shack. And yeah, I tried to make it look as kind of gross and run down as possible. I also have a little parking lot there in front. The one that came with ambitions also has something like that. It's a pretty similar layout. I just kind of replicated that because, like, not exactly, but because I wanted to make sure it had everything and looked correct. But essentially here come in all the plants and overgrowth and stuff to make it look kind of gross. Also some dead trees and some ferns and things. The terrain paint, though, is what really helps. You'll see that some brambles around as well, and just some bushes and stuff. A little bit of overgrown bushes here, like coming through the porch of the building, as you can probably see, and just like a bunch of nasty things. But yeah, so I'm putting in some dead grass terrain paint and some dirt. And then I also, I think, put in some sand around. But yeah, I mean, that makes it look a lot more gross. And this is also right on the beach. So there's actually some water on the corner of this lot that goes like into the ocean. So I put like a washed up, like broken boat there in the corner as well. There's also a little parking lot here, which I also make a little bit more worn looking. So just putting in some dirt and sand, so it just kind of looks a bit more worn out. And yeah, so anyway, right now there's the broken boat that just kind of is like washed up on the shore there. I also put in some like plants around that too, and also a gate so you can actually get into the Junkyard, so that's convenient to have. And I also put like a fence, I think, around the parking lot so that you don't accidentally drive off into the ocean, because you know, that wouldn't be so good, though I imagine in real life a car would just be able to drive right through that fence because it's a pretty flimsy looking fence, but there's a fence there. And yeah, just some more gross looking plants and things. And that's pretty much it for this episode. We're kind of nearing the end here. I know that it wasn't very long, but my goal is to do either 2 or 3 lots per episode. So this was the industrial area, and I was pretty satisfied with it. We're doing the inside of the shack right now, but there's some screenshots coming up, so I hope you stick around for those. You can watch, or you can see all the stuff that we did in this episode a bit more closely. And of course, there's download links in the description below for all these lots, along with the lot numbers and a map of where these go. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you check out my channel and consider subscribing. And you can also check out the Create a World series, where I made this entire world from scratch. And yeah, so that's pretty much all of that. And yeah, so this is just the office area. I also added off camera a little like wood burning stove in the corner, which I thought was kind of a good little detail to have. I forgot to do that before, but yeah, just some gross shutters and changing the color of the stairs here, and then just some under roof details. But I also do some lighting as well, I believe, just like some lamp posts just around the place, just so it doesn't look completely unrealistic at night. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time.